Okay, so we had an issue with GitHub during class because my laptop froze up. So we're going to cover from having the file created and creating a repository with GitHub. So I have as we created in class, I have a real simple file. It's on my desktop under Vico 2162 GitHub, and I can see it here. There's the index file. And I have it actually open in a web browser. So it's a real simple page, nothing fancy about it. And you can see on my GitHub account, I'm signed in as Vico 2162, and I don't have any repositories. So I have GitHub desktop open, and this is version 135. So this should be the most up-to-date version, and you see it's last checked 2 hours ago. So I'm going to close that. And what I want to do is I want to add a local repository. So I'm going to click on the center option here. It says add local repository. And it's going to ask me where it is. I click on choose. And I go to my desktop and I select the Vico 2162 GitHub folder. Click open. And it says this does not appear to be a Git repository. There are files that are put in the folder that the normal user doesn't see, but that is vital to GitHub to keep track of the changes made to the folder and everything. So I'm going to click create repository here instead. And it's going to ask me what do I want to name it. So I'm going to go ahead and name this repository first GitHub page. Now, it can really be anything, but we'll do, then for this use, we'll just do first GitHub page. That way it tracks it. Sample of creating a repository using GitHub desktop. And it already has the path, and I don't want a README that would put another file in there. I want to leave it as clean as possible. And I'm not going to do anything with this. I'm going to click repository. And now there's nothing actually showing up here. But if I look in my history, what it does is if I look at this, it actually says I just committed this and it has all these files in here. Now, if I make a change, so let's go back to Adam real quick. And I'm going to change this to, we'll just change this to sample page. And then I'm going to save it. When I go back to my GitHub desktop and I go to changes, it's going to say, hey, look, you've changed something. And you can see it has a minus on what the line was and then a plus next to what the line is. So if I wanted to actually add this in, I would commit the change, but what I would need to do here is do a quick summary, added line to H1, or added, we'll just say added to H1, added sample page to H1, added text, and sample page. Now what this does is it tells me what I did, and it also, I'm being very explicit about what I'm doing. That way I can go back and understand what I did, what changes I made. So I'm going to go ahead and click commit to master, and now you'll see that there's no local changes. Now what this means is I've changed things locally, and it's still on my hard drive, but it's not actually out on GitHub yet. So if I were go back to the browser here, there's my page. If I refresh it, it now has sample page. And if I go to GitHub and refresh that, I still don't show any repositories. So I'm going to go back to GitHub desktop, and the final step to getting this out into the world, well, the next to last step for getting this out into the world, is to publish this repo to GitHub. Now I'm already logged in. If I go to File, GitHub Desktop Preferences. I see that I'm logged in here, so I don't need to log in. And I'm going to click Publish to the this repository to GitHub. Now, once again, I have a chance to change this. I'm going to leave it as it is because I don't want to deal with this. And it automatically goes to keep this code private. Now, in order to keep the code private, you have to, it's a paid option. Well, we're doing this for free. We don't want to, pay for GitHub. So I'm just going to uncheck this, keep this code private, and I'm going to click Publish Repository. Now you see the little spinny thing. It's working on it. It's going out. It's doing everything. Now, if I go back to GitHub and refresh the page, I now have this repository. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. I can see that I have an index.html, and if I click on it, it's going to actually show me what is on the page, exactly what I had typed in. Now, in order to make this something that is visible, something that I can visit on the web, what we want to do is enable this as a GitHub Pages. So we click on Settings, scroll down, all the way down to where it says GitHub Pages, and GitHub Pages is currently disabled. Select a source below to enable GitHub Pages for this repository. Now, depending on how you're going to do this, there's multiple ways to go about this. But right now, we're just going to focus on what they call the master branch, which is basically your main branch. I'm going to select master branch, click Save, and now it's out there. Okay? And the way you get to that is you go to your username, Vico2162 in my case, .github.io/ and then the name of the repository, in which this case is Vico2162 GitHub. So I'm just going to copy that, go back here, paste it, and we now have your first GitHub page published. All right, so for the assignment, finish it up, create a repository, upload it to GitHub, and then activate the GitHub pages so that we can go look at your page. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk about this on Tuesday in class in case there's any additional questions. But until then, have a good weekend. Bye.